Ashley is in Detroit, Michigan. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I'm just calling because I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my husband to stick to the budget that we have agreed on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on what I should do next.
How long have y'all been married?
We have been married. We'll be married 17 years in December.
How old is he?
He is 40.
What's he do for a living?
He's a superintendent for a construction company. They do all automotive plants.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he just was transferred out of town to work on a job that they just got. He's going to be out of town.
And if on one of the projects that he was working on, if he didn't stick to the budget that he had agreed to as part of the estimate, they would fire his butt.
Exactly.
And so why is it he can't stay with the budget he agreed to with his wife?
Well, I don't know if it's because he's out of town. He's bored out of his mind when he's not at work. He's staying in a hotel, so he doesn't have, a lot of storage space for, to buy groceries. And so, here at home, we're doing the beans and rice, and he's, going out to eat several times a week. And so I'm trying to give him ideas like peanut butter and jelly doesn't take up a lot of room in the refrigerator. And I don't know if he's just...
So either one of two things is going on. Either he has not really agreed to do this thing,
right?
Or you guys have set an unrealistic number for him.
Okay.
I don't know which it is. Is he being unreasonable? An immature little boy whining? Or have you clamped him down too hard because you're a super nerd?
It might be a little bit of both.
Might be.
I think I'm really, really excited about this, and I know he says verbally that he is and that he's on board and is really
but his
excited
actions aren't saying it. So here's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
This guy is the kind of guy who believes in keeping his word. He would be highly offended if someone lied to him. He's a person of honor, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. I've worked with a lot of guys just like him, and I am that kind of guy. I come out of that same heritage. And so I would just call him out on that and say, okay, we've got to set a number here that we can both agree to stick to because you're a man of honor and you've been breaking your word, and that's just not like you, and that's not okay.
Okay.
Call him out on that this is a contract. When we agree to this number, we're going to pinky swear and spit shake, and I'm going to break your knuckles if you break the contract.
Okay.
He needs to hear that he gave his word. He's kind of playing your little financial thing while he's out of town working, and he can't do that anymore. It's got to be more serious than that. It's got to be a contract where he signs it in blood.
Okay.
Because if he gets that in his emotions, he will never break his word. He's not that guy.
Okay. Right.
And that's how you're viewing it. Because for you, it was a contract.
Exactly.
But he's just not a person that breaks his word. That's not who he is. I'm not hearing that. This is not a little boy who's immature and incapable. This guy's a man. He's a good man.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. You guys have not looked at this commitment at the same level, and so you've got to ramp up your language on how we look at this contract. Pinky swear, spit shake, in blood. If you do this, if you break your word again, me and you are going to have a problem. And he's going to laugh and go, "Yeah, okay, I get it." That's who this guy is.
Okay.
Because he didn't hear contract. He heard suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. I think so. I'll just be a little more stern with how.
Well, and it's not you being his mom stern. It's clarifying language so you're tapping into his honor and the integrity of the man that is there instead of like, oh, this is cute, it's her little thing she's working on.
Okay.
Is that because I can do that? So if Sharon goes, look, we said we we're going to be there at 6:30. You know what? We're there at 6:25 because the trains run on time.
Right.
But if it's like, well, they said come somewhere between 6:30 and 7, we'll roll in there somewhere between 6:30 and 7.
Okay.
But if it was 6:30, then that would be a screwed up deal. you know?
Right.
So we got to have real clarity on what's going on, and then we do that. So, hey, good question. Thank you for joining us. It's a good clarification, because I tell you what, man, the number one thing couples fight about, even good people, even good marriages, and that lady, you could tell by the language and the tone and the way she was discussing him that she wasn't dealing with an immature little boy in a man's body. And sometimes wives are dealing with that, a little wuss, you know, a little boy. And God help you, women, if you marry a little boy. And God help you, men, if you marry a princess. Because it's just, you know, you need to marry like full-grown people where their emotions are full-grown too. It changes everything. It's a different thing. And so she wasn't using any of that language. She was using very clear language, and you could tell. And the reason I asked about his age, how long they've been married, what he does for a living, it gives me indicators of every bit of that. And this guy's running a large project management situation for a construction firm out of town. He's used to doing numbers. He's used to hitting schedules. He's used to doing things on time. He's used to doing things right. And when he doesn't, there are consequences. It's very easy to transfer that set of skills and that view of life into simply doing a household budget together. And so that's where, you know, you can listen to these things. You can hear them in these callers as people call in their lives. On the other hand, you get the guy, and he can't keep a job, doesn't like to work much, you know, and he's trying to figure out a way all the time to trick something or scam something or scheme something. This guy can't be nailed down to anything. And the same thing if you switch it from guy to gal. It's not a picking on men thing. It's a, you know, picking on people thing, because we got to be grown-ups to win at these different areas of our lives. And that couple there's got it. They got a lot of they got the skills, they got the stuff. 16 years of marriage, and the way she wasn't whining about her husband. She's just trying to figure out a system, a process to communicate better. It's a whole different thing. See how that works? That's why we take good marriages in Financial Peace University and make them great. And sometimes how we take a marriage that's on the rocks and save it, and we're not even in the marriage business. But it's the number one thing people fight about, money and money problems. And that is probably always been that way. All the research tells us that.